So, I've had the Raptor for a month now, and I got some thoughts on it. As you'd expect, the Raptor is wicked sick, but I don't know that everybody needs one. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. We'll get in the truck, drive it out here, have some fun. So now that I've had it for a month, there's definitely some things about it that are extremely unique. I think one of the first things you really start to settle in with is that, and this one's pretty obvious, is this is not a normal truck. Okay, this is not a normal F1. This is not an F-150. I would say yes, it's based on the F-150 platform, but the Raptors themselves are very different. And once you've had it for a little bit, you start to realize that this is as specialized as a BMW M car, but in truck form. Okay, it's a high performance truck. That is what it is. That it is a very specialized vehicle. And I think people that are going to consider buying a Raptor should know that. There are some things about it that maybe not everybody needs. And we'll talk about that once I'm actually driving it. But let me just kind of show you kind of the stuff that I really like about the styling, and then we'll move forward. I'm not going to get into technicalities of like suspension travel and all the specs and the power and all that kind of stuff, because it's been done over and over and over. I'm going to just tell you kind of like, now that I've had it, what do I really like about the exterior styling? We'll talk about the interior, and then we're going to take it for a drive. Call me a fanboy or whatever, but there isn't a single thing about the Raptor's looks that I don't enjoy. From the wide fenders, to the minimal front bumper, to the running lights, to just like even the new factory bead locks. Look incredible. I mean, I think Ford just kind of nailed it, and I think Ford has continued to show that they aren't playing around when it comes to all the Ford performance vehicles. I mean, you look at the GT350, GT350R, those are sick, amazing vehicles, and this is like a Ford F-150 GT350R type of truck. It's so specialized and it's so special, and I think that when you own one, that's what kind of adds to the experience, is that it's just not a normal F-150. And also, that really there's no competition to the Raptor yet. I mean, sure, there's going to be a TRX coming out soon, but I mean, Ford has dominated the entire, I don't know if you call that a segment, but basically anything that wants to be a Raptor isn't a Raptor unless it's actually a Raptor. That's not to say that if you don't have a Raptor, you don't have a cool truck or a good truck, okay? I mean, that would just be a lie. What it is that Ford just does this, the Baja style, high speed, off-road truck, better than anybody. And that's non-negotiable. That's just 100% true, okay? Yes, the TRX is coming out, and we're going to see what that's all about. If Ram puts out a really good competitor to this, which I think that the TRX is probably going to be a pretty damn cool truck, it'll be nice, because all it's going to do is it's going to make Ford step up their game. I think we all know that there's like plans for possibly a Raptor R with the GT500 motor and stuff like that, and it's going to be really interesting. But let's get in the truck. Let's talk a little bit about the interior. And then also just, does it make sense to buy a Raptor in 2020? After spending a month in this truck, I can tell you that the interior is quite possibly the most comfortable interior of any vehicle I've ever really been in. That even goes for some pretty high-end luxury cars. Actually, I'll take that back. I've been in some larger Mercedes that are pretty great, okay? But for an everyday vehicle, the inside of the Raptor is extremely comfortable, and I can understand why just F-150s as a whole are the best-selling trucks in America, because Ford's got it figured out. They figured out what people want, right? We want technology, we want comfort, we want isolation from the outside world in terms of noise. And we just want a very easy user experience, and I think that Ford nailed it with this interior. I just don't really have any single complaints other than there's a little like compartment here. I'm running out of battery, so I can't really shoot that part for you, but I guess there could have been a little bit better cord integration for my phone. That would have been kind of nice, but other than that, I think they've nailed it across the board in here. And as this being like my rolling office, and I spend a lot of time in my vehicle for work, I couldn't be happier. The Raptor itself is actually really nice to drive in town. Sometimes the width can be a little sketchy, sometimes in tighter areas, but I live in Albuquerque. I don't live in like Manhattan, so it doesn't really affect me too much. But driving the Raptor in town is very easy and actually very comfortable. Because it has this suspension on it, it also drives very soft. I would say that it's like rolling in a big Cadillac. That's what everybody says. And honestly, that's just a really good way of describing it, is that it just kind of floats over everything, right? The other part of it too is that it's got a lot of power. This thing can haul ass. It's got a lot of passing power, and in town, you never feel like the truck is like not able to get out of its own way. I mean, you lay into it and this truck is gonna get up and move. And that's something that I always really had a hard time with my old Toyota 4Runner, is that 4.0 V6 was a dog. I mean, it's a boat anchor. It's just not, it just has no power. And especially if you load up a truck like that, it's just really, really slow. Oh, well, I should probably land this drone real quick. And here it comes. Here it comes. Pretty cool. All right, the drone is safely back in the vehicle. I have to do a battery swap here, but let's get back to doing this. Oh, power. Yeah, the Raptor has lots of power. Plenty of power. Gets out of its way, no problem. And I think that's one of my favorite things about it in town, is that even though it's big, okay, this thing moves. I mean, is it as quick as my old M4? No, but it's a truck, and I would say that that's one of my favorite things about it, is the power and this motor. I know a lot of people are gonna talk shit about this motor and say that like it sounds terrible, and you know, here's the bottom line. If you are buying a vehicle simply because of the way it sounds, you're dumb. You're just dumb, okay? The M4, people are like, it sounds terrible. It doesn't sound like the V8. Yeah, that's kind of that's a natural characteristic. A V8 or an inline 6 turbo is not gonna sound the same. And guess what? This V6 twin turbo is not gonna sound the same as a V8, but everything about it is better. Everything. More power, better, I mean, it's just a better motor, okay? And I'm not gonna argue with people about it. If you're buying a truck or a car because of the sound, then go get a bicycle. All right, that was kind of rude. But here's what this truck is the most impressive about. It's the way it does this. It'll just go. We are blasting down this road right here over whoops and washboards and all of those things that I used to do in my 5th gen 4Runner, okay? But I had spent $7,000 on suspension and all of that to modify it to be able to do this, okay? Now I get it, 4Runner, lot cheaper than a Raptor, okay? But the bottom line was I had to modify that vehicle to be able to drive it like this. This Raptor right out of the gate is so incredibly capable that there's very little you need to do to them unless you're just a like over-the-top enthusiast and want to do it just to do it, okay? Or to push the limits of the truck, and that's totally fine. And I likely will, like I think that I probably will. I mean, I've never had a vehicle that I've never modified. I've had to modify them all. I just can't help myself. Modified vehicles are just better than non-modified vehicles. Sorry, that's just the way I live my life. Don't judge me, okay? But that is what is so incredibly impressive about the Raptor is it's almost vulgar how incredibly capable this truck is right out of the gate. The suspension tuning, I mean, it's all of its drive modes, the tuning on the transmission, the width. I mean, this is a truck that a lot of people for years were buying pickup trucks or you know, Tundras or Silverados or Rams, and they were modifying them to try to get them to perform like this. And the truth is, they're not the same, okay? This truck has a warranty and it offers all of this performance, and that's the big game changer. And you could say, well, it's, you know, it's a $70,000 truck. Well, yeah, it is, but also try to find something that is this good right out of the gate, that if you modify to be able to try to perform like a Raptor, wouldn't cost you that kind of money, okay? I would say that the features of something like a Toyota Tundra, like the Platinum or their highest trim level, the Limited or whatever, it doesn't offer the same level of comfort and refinement as this Raptor does, okay? And you would also have to modify that truck to try to get it to perform like this. And could you do it? Absolutely you can. People do it all the time. But that's really what makes this Raptor so damn special, is that you don't have to. And after having it a month, I can't tell you like how, two things, surreal it is to own one, okay? I wanted one of these years ago when they first came out, but I couldn't do it back then. Now that I have it, it's still like at times I'm like, gosh, that's my truck. That really is my truck. Cool. And it's been a really good experience so far. All right. I plan on driving the doors off of this thing. I do plan on modifying this thing. You know, is my channel going to be just about a Raptor build? No, it isn't. I would much rather kind of document and have fun with the places that this truck can take me, rather than focusing solely on this truck. And I hope that you all can come along for that ride. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, folks. The channel is growing. I think we're at like 750 subs right now, which is, I mean, let's face it, that's not a lot, but your support so far has been really, really cool. And the feedback in the comments and stuff that I get, it really just makes it more fun to make these videos. I would make these videos with or without you all watching, but when I know that there's other people on the other end that are enjoying it, it makes it that much more fun. So I'm out. Have a good one. Sorry, I forgot to mention something. Should you buy one in 2020? Yes, go snag one up. Go snag up a brand new one, pay MSRP, because that's probably what you're gonna end up having to pay for it anyway. Because I'm pretty sure they're stopping the production on the current Raptor, and then a newer version or updated package of this truck will be available in the next year or two. And so buy one now while you can, enjoy it. And if the new one is really that much better than this one, then hell, trade it in. Why not? Oh, and if you're looking for one out there, you might come across the Recaro seats. And somebody, I mentioned that I didn't get the Recaro seats, and I'm glad that I didn't get the Recaro seats. And here's why I didn't want those Recaro seats. The Alcantara. I've just never really seen Alcantara wear well on any vehicle. And it just kind of doesn't react well to abrasions. And I felt like I was gonna trash it. So I was glad that I didn't get the Recaro seats with the blue Alcantara. That's it. That's all. Sorry. Super long-winded. Have a good one. Not kidding this time. Bye.